welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making this very beautiful floral top. I don't have a name for it yet, but I really love the motifs joined together. The yarn that I'm going to be using is kartopu. This is from Hobiam Yarns. You can check the link in the description box below. I'll be leaving their website behind. I'll also be using a 2.75mm crochet hook. This yarn recommends 2 to 2.5, but I use a 2.75 because I don't want my work to be very tiny. The colors that I'm going to be using are yellow, white and pink. And one of the colors is already here. This is the main color for the edging and the boundary. I'll be demonstrating for a size small to medium. And if you're a bigger size, you may consider using a thicker yarn plus a bigger hook. That will give you a wider bra cup and also a better fitting for your size. That's what I would advise. And then the other thing that I forgot to mention while I was working on this video was, if you find this a little too open for your cleavage, you can go ahead and just make a simple chain and close up a few rows upwards. This is something that I forgot to mention at the end of the video. So this bralette is made of motifs that I'm going to be showing you how to make. And the other thing that you'll need is a pair of scissors and a darning needle. A darning needle is very, very key for this project because there are so many loose ends to weave in order to achieve a very neat final look. I still have some ends to weave in right now, but they're not so many as compared to how they were before I did any weaving in. You can work this bralette with any color combination of your choice. I just chose this because those were the colors available. I would have maybe chosen another color, but this worked out great. So let's jump into the video and see how this works. Okay, so for our very first motif, you're going to grab your first color. This is going to be the color in the center of every granny flower. So you're going to start off with a slip knot. That's my slip knot. And you're going to make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to go into the very first chain that you made with a total of 11 double crochets. So this chain of 4 counts as our very first double crochet. And then we are going to do a total of 11 double crochets in the very first chain that we made. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So since I told you the very first chain 4 counted as a stitch, you should be having a total of 12 double crochets. So let's cross check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 12 is the chain at the beginning. And you're going to go into the very first chain on top of the chain 4. And you're going to make a slip stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. So that's your slip stitch. You're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. Leave a strand to weave in and pull through. So that's our very first round. We are going to grab our second color, and for me this is going to be white. And you're going to make a slip knot. You're going to attach your second color into that same exact stitch where you placed your slip stitch. There. And you're going to attach your white. you're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that counts as our very first treble crochet. And we are going to do 2 more treble crochets together. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, and leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same exact stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you'll have a total of 3 loops on your hook and yarn over, pull through all. So here we've done a total of 2 treble crochets together because this already counted as one of the trebles. So we have a total of 3 treble crochets in that first stitch. Then you're going to chain 3 and make a total of 3 treble crochets together in each and every following stitch. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into the next stitch, which is this one. Make sure you don't skip it. Yarn over, pull through. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, leave 2 loops on your hook. Then yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, that's the second one. Yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You'll have a total of 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have a total of 4 loops on your hook, and you yarn over and pull through all. So that's 3 treble crochets together. So we are creating these clusters. I'll call these clusters for this tutorial. We are creating treble crochet clusters all the way around. So I'm going to continue doing this until I have a total of 12, placing 1 cluster in each and every stitch. So chain 3, 3 treble crochets together. And then yarn over, pull through all. Chain 3. So each cluster is separated by a chain 3 space. I'll record all this on camera so that you don't get lost. So far we have a total of 4 clusters. I'm going to speed up a bit so that we can finish fast. So I'm on my very last stitch, so you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm placing my very last cluster. So yarn over twice and place 3 treble crochets together in the very last stitch. Yarn over, pull through all. And the moment you have 12 clusters, you're going to chain 3 and go on top of the very first cluster that you made, and you're going to make a slip stitch on top of that stitch, on top of the cluster, sorry. And then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So this is how your motif will look like. Now I'm going to introduce my third color, and that is pink. I have this pink that's really pretty, and I decided to go with it. You're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to go into this chain right before the slip stitch. I'll be showing you why I do this, why I attach my yarn in those particular stitches. So into that chain before the slip stitch, I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to chain 3, place 2 more double crochets into the same space. So we shall have a total of 3 double crochets because the chain 3 counts as one of the double crochets. And then you're going to chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So from this point, this row is going to turn the circle into a square, which we want to do because we are going to be joining squares, not circles. So this creates our very first corner. Chain 1, go into the next chain 3 space with a total of 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. Chain 1. Now we are going to be creating a corner at this point. So for the corner you place 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So we've created 2 corners so far. We have this one and this one. Chain 1, go into the next chain 3 space with a total of 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. Chain 1, into this next space we shall create a corner, so 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets all in the same space. So after this you should be having a total of 3 corners. We have this one, and this one. Then you're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next. Chain 1 and into the next chain 3 space we shall create a corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets in the same space. So after this you're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1 and into the last chain 3 space you're going to place a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and you're going to slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 that you made. So go in there and make your slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So that marks the end of our square. You can see the circle has turned into a square and it creates a really beautiful flower in the middle. So from here we need 3 granny squares in order to achieve the breakup shape. So let me introduce this. I've already worked my very first breakup and this is what it looks like. You need 3 of them. So I'm going to be teaching you how to join, how to make the edging, how to make the strap, and then we shall be doing the band at the base of our top. So you're going to rewind this video and you're going to make 2 more of these, same exact like how we made this motif up to the white, so that you get to the point when you're going to be working your final round, which is pink, and then we shall be seeing how to join the pink row of the 2 motifs or the 3 motifs. So I have mine ready here, so I'm going to just attach my pink yarn, make a slip knot, insert your hook in the space before the slip stitch of the previous row, and you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, place 2 more double crochets into the same exact space. You can see we are doing the same exact thing, but this time we are going to be attaching. So we are going to chain 1 instead of 2, and then we are going to get any corner of this motif. So let me go with this one. You chain 1 and then grab the corner on this motif, pull through and chain 1 more. So that's a total of 2, and then place 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So 1, 2 and 3. So you can see the corners are joined. Then from here you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, go into the next chain 1 space on the opposite motif, pull through that loop, chain 1 more, and then place 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, like that. And then you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, go into the next chain 1 space, pull through that loop, chain 1 more, and then go into the next chain 3 space with 3 double crochets. Okay, then you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, insert your hook into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, chain 1 more, and then go into the next chain 3 space with a corner this time. So 3 double crochets. This is supposed to be a corner, so since it meets this corner, we are going to chain 1 instead of 2, remove our hook, insert your hook into the opposite corner, pull through, chain 1 more, and place 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So I'm going to show you how that has played out. The 2 corners have met at the same point, and now we are going to just finish up as usual, just like we did for our very first gurney. So chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, then it's time for a corner, so 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets in the same space. Sorry, it's supposed to be chain 2 since it's a corner, so chain 2 and then 3 more double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. Now it's time for a corner, so chain 1, go into the next chain 3 space with 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets, all in the same space. Then you're going to chain 1, go into the next chain 3 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, go into the last chain 3 space with 3 double crochets. After that, you're going to chain 1 and go on top of the very first chain 3 and make a slip stitch, chain 1, and now you're going to cut your yarn. So this is how your work should look like at this point. We have joined 2 granny squares together. So let me reintroduce the breakup that I have already made. So we are assuming that we've done this one and this one, and now it's time to do the upper one. So you're going to get your next motif, which is this one, and you're going to attach your pink color. Alright, so we're going to chain 3 plus 2 more double crochets in the same exact space, chain 2. So this is supposed to be a corner, so instead of chaining 2, we are going to chain 1 instead, because I want to start joining immediately. So chain 1, go into this corner here, because we are going to be joining along both motifs. So you're going to pull through that corner, then chain 1 and go into the same space with 3 more double crochets since it's a corner. Okay, then you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, go into the next chain 1 space, pull this loop through, chain 1 more, and then into the next chain 3 space you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets, chain 1, remove your hook, insert your hook into the next chain 1 space, pull through that loop, chain 1 more, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, then chain 1, remove your hook, go into the next chain 1 space on the opposite motif, pull through the loop, chain 1 more, and then go into the next chain 3 space with a total of 3 double crochets. So this is supposed to be a corner because we've already done 2 clusters of 3 double crochets. So since this is a corner and we want to join this side and this side, we're going to chain 1 after your 3 double crochets, and then we are going to go into that loop that joins the 2 motifs. There's this loop here, the middle section of the where the 2 motifs intersect. There's that loop there. I'm going to pull through this loop and then chain 1 more and place 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So I've created my corner, you can see that. And then you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, and then cross over to the second motif. Go into the next chain 1 space, pull through, chain 1 more, and then go into the next chain 3 space with a total of 3 double crochets. Chain 1, remove your hook, go into the next chain 1 space, pull through, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. Then you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, go into the next chain 1 space, pull through, chain 1 more, and then you are going to go into the next chain 3 space with 3 double crochets, and this is supposed to be a corner because there's a corner here, then 2 clusters of 3 double crochets. So this is supposed to be a corner. So after your 3 double crochets here, you're going to chain 1, remove your hook, go into this corner and pull through, chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So at this point we've joined the last granny square to form our bra cup. You can see that. And now we are going to continue, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next, chain 1. This is supposed to be a corner, so we do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain 3 space. So this is what we have, and then we're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the last chain 3 space, and then you're going to chain 1, slip stitch into the very first chain 3 that you made, and then you're going to chain 1 and fasten off. So that marks the end of our third motif. You can see we've gotten a triangular shape from our 3 squares. So this forms the bra cup, just like we have here. And now I'm going to be showing you how to make the edging for your bra cup, and then we shall go to the band at the base of our top. So using your same exact edging color, for me that was pink, you're going to attach your yarn and you're going to make sure your work is on the right side. The wrong side is this with all the loose ends, but this is the right side. So you're going to make sure your work is on the right side, and we are going to place an edging from this point until this point. So we are going to be working around up to this side. We are not going to be tampering with the base of our bra cup. So you're going to attach your yarn here, and we are going to chain 4. That counts as a double crochet, chain 1, then skip 1 stitch, and into the next stitch place a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and into the space place a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next. So we are going to continue that until we get to the top of our bra cup. Keep skipping one stitch, sorry, and then going into the next with a double crochet. So when you get to this point where we have the 2 motifs intersecting, you'll chain 1 and then go into the next chain 1 space. You can see what I've done, and then chain 1, skip this first stitch and go into the middle stitch with 1 double crochet, chain 1, so we are almost at the top of our bra cup. This is what we have. We are creating a mesh pattern. So when you get here, you're going to chain 1, skip this 1 stitch, and then go into the chain 2 space with 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet, all in the same space. So right now the tip of our bra cup is this stitch here. So from there you're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and go into the next with a double crochet, and continue working all the way down. You're going to continue skipping 1 stitch and then 1 double crochet into the next, all the way down. So when you get to where the 2 motifs intersect, you do the same exact thing we did on the other side. Go into the spaces and then chain 1 and skip the very first stitch, go into the next. Okay, so we're almost at the end of our row. This is what your work should look like. And after this, you're going to chain 1, skip the very last stitch and go into the last chain 2 space on the side with 1 double crochet. So your backup should be looking like this. Now we're going to do our very final row, the one with the spike stitch. I just thought it could give my top a little bit of detail so that it's not so plain. So to do this, you will chain 1, turn your work. So now we are going to be working the final round on our wrong side, but the spikes will be popping on the right side. So to do that, you're going to insert your hook into the very first space, single crochet, chain 4, and then slip stitch into these 2 loops at the front. After you slip stitch, make 1 more single crochet into the same space. So we are going to do this again together. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 4, slip stitch into those 2 loops at the front, and then single crochet again in the same space. Single crochet into the next space, chain 4, slip stitch into both those 2 loops at the front, single crochet again in the same space. So we're going to repeat this all the way up. You can see how it looks like on the right side, and we're going to continue doing this until we get to the top of our backup. So I'm going to speed through this so that I can make it to the top. So we're almost at the top. We've reached that point that has 3 double crochets in the same exact space. So I'm going to do the same exact thing in one of the spaces, 1 single crochet, chain 4, slip stitch, and 1 more single crochet. And then I'm going to single crochet into the middle stitch, the exact middle stitch. Then I'm going to chain 3, double crochet into that same exact middle stitch. Now we are creating our strap. We're going to be creating the strap immediately. Look how beautiful the edging is on the right side. So I'm going to be creating the strap, then I come back on it, and then we shall work the second side. So after this, you're going to chain 3, double crochet in between the 2 stitches at the base. 1, 2, 3, double crochet below. So I'm going to do that for a total of 75 times. I'm not going to do it on camera. I'm going to pause and I'll meet you guys back when I have a total of 75 segments of the strap. I want my strap to be long enough to tie on the band of the top. So go ahead and do a total of 75 or 100, whatever number you want. 75 looks this long, and I think it's enough length to play around with at the back of our top. So let me go off camera and I work my 75 segments, and I'll show you how to finish up the strap. So right now I've done my 75 segments for the strap. Now we're going to go back on it. After my 75th segment, I'm going to chain 3 and go into that space between the 2 stitches and place a single crochet, chain 3, go into the next segment in the middle of the 2 stitches and make a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next segment, and that's the repeat. You're going to keep doing this until you get back to the body of the bra cup. Chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next segment. Keep doing this until you get back to the body where the strap started from. So this is going to make our segment a bit thicker and more sturdy. So continue to do this. I'll meet you at this point. So I have made my way back on my strap, and I've placed my single crochet into the very last segment. You can see that. And then I'm going to chain 3 and then single crochet into the next chain 1 space, 1 single crochet, chain 4. So we are going back to that point of making spikes. Slip stitch and then single crochet into the same space. So in case you forgot what we were doing on this side, we are just going to transfer this onto this side. So you single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 4, slip stitch into the 2 front loops, and then single crochet again in the same exact space. So I'm going to continue doing this all the way down to the end of the mesh row or the mesh pattern. Don't forget to place this into each and every chain 1 space until you get to this point here. So I've made it all the way down and I've placed my very last spike in that last chain 1 space or the last box, and you're going to pull your work a bit so that it can become a bit straight. And this is what we have. You can see the same thing going on for our previous bra cup. Now since I'm on this side and my work is on the right side on both bra cups, it's time for me to join that middle section so that we get the bra shape. So instead of cutting there and then, I'll make a slip stitch on this side into the very first stitch. You're going to pull that loop, and then you're going to chain 1 and chain another 1 and cut. Leave a long strand because you may need to attach this more so that it's more secure. So this is what we have at the end of our 2 bra cups. Sorry. And now we are going to be working the band of our top. So I'm going to show you that in a bit, but if you're to look at this, let me demonstrate with 1 bra cup. So there are 2 squares. The moment you attach the 3rd one, it creates that depression. It's more like it's creating room for an actual breast to fit in. It's more like a cup. It's not a flat surface. So that's why I like this approach, because I have done it before in one of my videos. I already have something similar to this, but it wasn't this particular flower. So we are going to go ahead and make some more motifs, but stopping on the 2nd round. We want the band to attach to our bra cups. So for me, I was thinking I would do 2 on the edge, and then this one attaches to this attaches to this. So that means if this reaches the middle, that means we need a total of 8 more motifs. in order to make our band. So go ahead and make a total of 8, and I'll meet you back when you are done with that, so that we can attach our motifs to the bra cups and finish up our top. So for your very first motif of the band, you're going to attach your yarn as usual. Make a slip knot and attach your yarn here, and you are going to just go around and create a normal square, just like we did for our very first motif of our bra cup. You will do the square normally, and then since I have that ready, this is my second motif. So I will chain 3 and then place 2 more double crochets in that same exact space. Then I'll chain 1 and attach my yarn in this first corner. Chain 1 more. We are basically joining the same exact way that we were joining the bra cups. And then chain 1, attach. Hope you still remember how to attach. Chain 1 more, then 3 double crochets, chain 1, attach, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, attach, and now we are going to be working our next corner. So chain 1 more and then 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, and then chain 1, attach into the corner, chain 1 more and place 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain 3 space. So at this point we have joined the 2 motifs, and remember our band is going to just be long. We are going to be attaching lengthwise. I told you I want my motif to have 2 daisies, 2 grannies on the edge, and then the third one joins to the body. So let me keep this here because I need it to predict where to attach this corner here. So chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and this calls for a corner, this one here. So you're going to place your 3 double crochets and chain 1, remove your hook, go into this space, that double crochet space, and attach your yarn normally just like we attach these other motifs, and then chain 1 more and place 3 more double crochets into the same space. So I'm trying to make sure that when I'm attaching my next square, there's already something waiting to be attached on this side. That's why I'm attaching this here. We shall attach some of these things later, like the missing pieces. But for now, this is what we have, and you're going to go ahead and finish up your square. Chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Make sure you're working on the right side of your work. Chain 1, this calls for a corner, so we have 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. And then chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into the last chain 3 space, and then you're going to chain 1 and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Then you chain 1 and cut your yarn. So this is what we have eventually. We have 2 daisies just like I had planned. So we are going to get our next daisy or our next square. This is what we are going to be attaching onto this granny square. So you're going to attach your yarn. Chain 3 plus 2 more double crochets into the same exact space. Then you're going to chain 1 and attach into this corner here on the band. So attach, chain 1 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. Attach, chain 1 more and then 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, attach into the next chain 1 space, chain 1 more and then 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. So if you mastered the way I was attaching these squares, you should be knowing exactly what to do, and this should be very easy for you at this point. Then you're going to chain 1, attach into the next chain 1 space on the opposite motif, chain 1 more, and this calls for a corner at this point. So we are going to go into that with 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1 and you are going to go into that corner here. On this motif there's this corner, so you're going to attach and then chain 1 more and place 3 more double crochets into the same chain 3 space. This is what you should be having. And then you're going to chain 1, attach, chain 1 more, and then 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, attach into the next chain 1 space, chain 1 more. I don't know why I keep forgetting that extra chain. 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. So now we are ready for another corner. So chain 1, attach into the next chain 1 space, chain 1 more, and this is supposed to be a corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, and you're going to go into the intersecting point of the 2 motifs and attach your yarn, and then chain 1 more and place 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain 3 space like that, and then you're going to finish up your motif. So we joined 2 sides. We joined this one and this one, and then from this point onwards we are going to just continue working until we finish up our square. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1. This calls for a corner, so it will get 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, like that, and then chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the last chain 3 space, and then you'll chain 1 and slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3, chain 1 and cut your yarn. So this is what you should be having at this point. You can see the motifs of the band have started moving across the base of our top. So I'm going to continue to join another one here. I'm going to be showing you how, because this time we have 2 spaces here. So I should be showing you how to do that. So you're going to grab your yarn, grab your next motif. We're going to fit it here and make sure this weird space does not appear anywhere on our top. So you're going to attach your yarn like that, chain 3, 3 more double crochets into the same space, sorry, 2 more double crochets to make a total of 3 double crochets, then chain 1, attach your yarn here, chain 1 more, 3 more double crochets into the same space. So this is basically going to be the same exact thing. Chain 1, attach, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, attach, chain 1 more, 3 double crochets into the next, chain 1, attach, chain 1 more, this calls for a corner, so we shall have 3 double crochets, chain 1, and you're going to be attaching into that point here, the one that joins the 3 motifs together. So you're going to attach this, chain 1 more, and place 3 more double crochets into the same chain 3 space. So this is what you should be having. So we are going to keep attaching until we get to this point. So chain 1, attach, chain 1 more, 3 double crochets, chain 1, attach, chain 1 more, 3 double crochets, chain 1, attach, chain 1 more. And this is the tricky part. We want to eliminate this space without creating a bulge in the middle of our top, because this is the center of attention around there. So I'm going to try my best to work and I close it up the best way possible. So we're going to place our 3 double crochets because we are now at the corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, attach into the corner here like that, and then chain 1 more and place 3 more double crochets. I've noticed that this gap will be there either way, but I'm going to be showing you how to deal with it so that we don't create an awkward look in the middle. So just go ahead and work your square as usual until you finish it up. I'm on my last corner, so like that. Then you're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and then chain 1 and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3, chain 1 and cut. So this is what you should be having at this point. So we are going to grab our next motif and we are going to join it as usual on this motif here. I don't think I need to go through this all over again. Alternatively, you can start from the outside coming inside just like we did for this. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back when I also have 4 motifs on this side. I hope you still remember how to do it. If you don't, then you're going to just follow the same exact instructions from the time we started attaching this one, the very first motif, and the second one, but this time you're going to be coming from this side, crossing over to the middle space, and then I'll meet you guys back when we are closing up this gap. Okay, so I've worked 4 here and 4 on this side, so we are going to close up this gap and we're going to be using our main color, which is pink. I want to work these rows that I'm going to do in the middle on the right side. So I'll be starting with this side and I'll attach my yarn into the single crochet row just above the mesh row. So attach your yarn there and you're going to chain 1 and place 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. There, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and then chain 1 and place 3 double crochets into the corner. So 1, 2 and 3. This is what you should have, and you're going to chain 1 more and place 1 last double crochet. So from here you are going to chain 1, sorry, you're not going to chain 1, we're going to just continue to, you're going to turn your work around. Now we are going to be working on the opposite side. So remember, this side now has 2 rows of pink and this side has 1 row, and we want to balance both sides. So just turn your work over to the opposite side and place your double crochet into the corner like that. And at this point I don't think even the chain 1 double crochet was necessary, so I'm going to remove it. So after your 3 double crochets, you're going to turn your work and we are going to be working on this side. So prepare for a double crochet and go into the corner here and place your 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and then you're going to chain 1, attach into the next chain 1 space, chain 1 more, and then go into the next chain 1 space on this motif and place your 3 double crochets, chain 1, attach, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, attach, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, like that, chain 1, attach into that first chain 1 space, attach there, chain 1, and then you're going to go into the single crochet row on the opposite side, so here, and you're going to go in from the back upwards, and you're going to make your slip stitch, and then you'll chain 1, and before cutting your yarn you're going to have to make sure that everything looks nice and proportional. So this is what we have. So I've tried my best to really make this gap not to be weird or awkward. And from here we are going to cut our yarn and pull through this strand. So when it comes to weaving in the ends, you'll decide whether to reduce this size to nothing or just leave it like this, because this is also a design, because it has created 2 gaps of the same exact shape on both sides. So that's really up to you. I'll leave mine open because I don't mind the space. So from here I'm going to go to the back side of my work, and I'm going to be weaving in all my ends. So I'm going to be showing you for one motif. So there's this strand that we left behind in the center. You leave that one, then there are these 2 strands that are close to each other. You make a double knot, make sure it's secure enough, and cut. And then there are these 2 strands, pink and white, and you also tie, double or triple knot, whichever works, cut. And then for these last 2, this pink and this yellow, you'll be using a darning needle to weave them in. So that's what I'm going to do for each and every flower, so that I get rid of all these strands, and then later on I'll come to the base of my top and show you how I finished up. Okay, so we are back and I'm done weaving in all my ends. This is the right side of my work and this is the wrong side. You can see I've gotten rid of all the strands that were lying around using my darning needle. This is very crucial for such projects that have motifs with different colors, especially if you're not going to carry the yarns along with you while making the rounds. I don't like it because I don't feel like it looks that good around the edges at the back. So at this point you're going to decide whether to put bra cups or not. I'm not going to be putting the bra cups, but if you would wish, you're going to just identify the cup size and you get the bra cup that matches this, and then you'll sew it onto your top so that it's not transparent. I'm not going to do that right now because I already have a detailed video on how to attach bra cups and I'll be leaving the link somewhere. Now from here, this is the wrong side and this is the right side, so I am going to put one last edging at the base so that I don't leave my edges curved in and out. So just like I did for the edges of the bra cup, I'm going to just do the same exact thing at the base of my work. So you're going to grab your main color. For me that's pink, or whatever color that you've chosen to use for your project, and you're going to attach it at the extreme end. Actually, I wanted to also work something here so that we don't have these squares hanging. So let me just start from here. I'll go into this spike, this one, the very first one, and attach my yarn. And then after attaching your yarn, you're going to go into the middle stitch of the 3 double crochets, and you're going to place a double crochet there like that. Then you're going to chain 1, go into the chain 1 space, just like we did on the bra cups. You just skip 1 stitch and go into the next. So chain 1, skip 1 stitch into the next, chain 1, skip the next stitch and go into the chain 1 space. So I'm going to do that all the way across. So when you get to this point at this corner, you're going to skip the first stitch and go into the middle stitch with a double crochet, and then you're going to chain 1, and into this space you're going to go in there with 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 more double crochet, chain 1 and 1 more double crochet. This is to help us get to the side of our work. So this is what you'll be having. And now you're going to turn to the side and you're going to chain 1. And if you feel like your work hasn't turned that much, that placing a double crochet here is still going to give you a curve on your work, you can go ahead and place 1 last double crochet into the same space so that we don't get a curving effect here. Then you're going to chain 1 and continue with our pattern of the mesh effect. And when you get to the next corner, you're going to do the same exact thing. 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. So chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same space, chain 1, double crochet into the same space, chain 1, and double crochet into the same space. So this is what will be happening. So that will change direction to the bottom side of your work. You're going to work all the way across, and I'll meet you at this point after working these 2 corners, and we shall finish up together. So when you get to this point that has these rows of double crochet spaces, you'll chain 1, go into the double crochet space with 1 double crochet, chain 1, go into the next, chain 1 and go into that corner, and then continue normally. So I went ahead to do the corners and then I went straight across, and I'm here at this point. I will just go into the spike, that very first spike, and make a slip stitch, and then I'll chain one and cut my yarn. And we are not yet done, not yet. The next thing that I'm going to do to my work is to work one last row at the base of my work, because this can be mesh, that's okay, but I don't want to leave the mesh at the base of my work. So I'm going to reconnect my yarn at the very corner of my base of the band here in the middle, chain one space of the three. There are 3 chain one spaces, so I'll connect in the middle there, like that. Then chain 3, and I'll go into that same space with 3 double crochets, and then go into the next 2 chain one spaces with 1 single crochet. So this one and this one get 1 single crochet, chain 3, then 3 double crochets into the same space, then into the next chain one space, 1 single crochet into each. So I feel like this is going to be so packed. So instead of that, I will do 3 double crochets, and after my 3 double crochets, I'll skip 1 chain 1 space and go into the second with 1 single crochet. Then chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same exact space, skip 1 chain 1 space and into the next, place a single crochet. So I'm going to continue doing that. Chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same space, skip 1 chain 1 space and into the next, place a single crochet. Feel like this is neater for this project. Most of you guys know I create scallops at the edging of my projects, but this time the other one wasn't working out because the boxes are very close. So if I go with my original plan, then they seem to be so congested. So I'm going to continue doing this all the way across my work. So right now I'm coming to the end of my row of scallops at the edge of the bottom of the top. I'm placing my very last one here. And after this, I'll skip 1 space and go into the next with my single crochet, and then I'll chain 1, cut my yarn, and that marks the end of our top. This is what we have. Now you're going to get your straps. I had tied them up, but they're actually going to go to the back of your to the back of your top, and then they crisscross so that we have an X at the back. So you'll fold over your band just like I've done here. Sorry, my yarn is stuck. Okay, you'll fold over your work like this so that you bring the band towards the back side. Then you're going to get this strap and put it through this corner like that, and then bring this one, put it through the opposite corner, like that. So we shall get an X at the back of our top. Then you can lace it up one more time into this corner here where you placed your first scallop. Like that. And then bring this one and pass it through the second corner where you've placed your last single crochet. So this is what we have at the back. This is how your top will look like. I love the straps because they're not so thin. And then from here you'll just make a knot, and this knot is going to go to the back side. This is how it will look like. Not so long, not so short, just enough. And then your front side of your top will look like this. And that marks the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks for being patient with me, because this is really like hell of a project, because it really takes a lot of time, but I hope you've sat through the video to actually complete your project. Don't forget to tag me in your social media photos if at all you decide to recreate this piece, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.